Let's see if there's a video here we can watch. Hold on. I'm not going to show you the dead body. Hold on. You don't need to speak Arabic to understand what's going on by this anchor from Al Jazeera. Just listen to what he's saying. Just look and judge by the sound of his voice what this man is saying. You don't even need to hear it in English.
تحاول جمع جثامين الشهداء لكنهم لا يستطيعون. العدد كبير جدا، كبير جدا، لا يمكن إحصاؤه بشكل أولي، لا يمكن وصفه. نتحدث عن جريمة.
You don't need to speak English to hear the voice of this anchor inside the school that was bombed.
الحصيلة كرقم أولي 100 شهيد، لكنها العدد أكبر بكثير. الأشلاء ممزقة في كل مكان، في كل زاوية من زوايا هذه المدرسة. وكما تعلم محمد أن المدارس مكتظة بالنازحين.
See? You don't need to speak English to hear that, to hear the intensity in his voice. The Palestinian people are cockroaches in the eyes of the United States and the world, I guess. They have no value as human beings. This week we saw on video Israeli soldiers take a man from those who were laying down. I'm going to show you the video later. Put him in the corner and put a wall of soldiers so the video will not take place, and deliberately rape the man and stick a phone inside his rectum, where he later went to the hospital with broken ribs, broken cages, everything. He later died, a 42-year-old Palestinian prisoner. He's not even a prisoner of war. He's just a citizen they picked off the street. These people are full of hate, and they are dangerous not only to Palestine, to the Middle East. I think they're even a danger to the fucking United States of America. I think they are dangerous to the United States of America. I think if we ever say no to them, we're not going to give you weapons to kill innocent people, they would turn against us like fucking snakes. Trust me, I really do believe in that. I think the United States is either being blackmailed, has to be blackmailed. I mean, we are the United States of America. We stand for something more than this. We are the United States of America who claim to stand for human rights. We are for free press. We are the people. Excuse me. Let me take this shit off. I don't need it. Crying, man. Yeah, I'm crying. So what? I'm crying. So what? Because these are my people. I'm allowed to cry for them, aren't I? And you saw what happened in England, the riots, all of a sudden, the fucking bombs in the bars, all of a sudden, they're fighting for their rights. All of a sudden, when the British people are bringing out a million people a week to protest against the war in Israel, all of a sudden, the incitement comes in, and the Zionist motherfuckers work their way inside the fabric of England, and start this fucking protest and almost destroys the whole country, man. You think it was an accident that those protests happened, those race riots happened in England? It's not a coincidence. I'm telling you, nothing is a coincidence in politics and war. There was so much pressure from the English population against Israel that they needed to create an event, and they did, and they succeeded in creating it by turning British all of a sudden against refugees, against Muslims. It's unbelievable. Especially right after the fucking election that happened in England. Why didn't you do it when the conservatives were in power? Huh? All those migrants and all those refugees came in, not when the Labour government came to power, but when the conservatives bring into power. They opened the borders. We're going to talk about that later. But let's watch one more video. This one is in English. I hope you guys watch it with me. Let's watch it. No, I'm not going to watch it. Hold on, sorry. Okay, wait. Where is it? Okay.
Any warning. They've broken my heart.
Hold on.
عدد كبير من الشهداء We can't show you the full horror of this scene. The floors covered with bodies, blood and limbs. But there's no way to escape the carnage for these Palestinians.
You know what? Joe Biden just released $3.6 billion worth of weapons this week. God bless you, Joe. That's why you can debate, because every time you start talking, you saw all those dead Palestinian children in front of you, and no one is there to rescue. You're going to have to face God at the end of time. When you meet your maker, you're going to have to answer those kids.
In families. As one woman prays to God, a young girl faints. Next to them, an elderly man, covered in dust, sits mute in his chair.
They bombed them while they were praying. They bombed them suddenly, without any warning. They've broken my heart. They've broken my heart.
They carry away the dead, scrabbling through the debris with their bare hands,
Remember,
searching for anyone still trapped.
Remember, they purposely picked the morning prayer so they could get as many men as possible. Because remember, the Israeli armed forces sees any Palestinian above the age of 14 or 13 as Hamas. Scumbags, motherfuckers. They never deserved that country. Our problem has to do is with the British, with the Western power who gave us this cancer to the Middle East, who gave us this disease. These people are like a salt on our wounds, man. They're not going to live there a long time. Israel has forfeited its right to exist as a nation in the Middle East. No way these people are going to be our neighbors and we're going to do business with them. They made these fake peace treaties with all these fucking dictators. You know the Abrahamic Treaty? The Abrahamic Treaty population is 1.5 million Arabs that made peace with Israel. Oh, we made peace. They have forfeited the right to be with us. They don't have no right.
Forces insist they use precision munitions to strike a gathering of Hamas fighters they say had been based in the prayer room of this school at dawn. But thousands of displaced Palestinians were sheltering here. Rescue officials say they found around 100 bodies. I ask God to enter heartbreak into their hearts as they've entered it into ours, screams this woman. Israel has carried out well over a dozen similar strikes on schools over the past month.
A dozen schools.
It's a tactic that's intensifying and that has been condemned by the United Nations.
Fuck the United Nations.
Attack, the deadliest yet. The scene at the Al Ali hospital looks like a horror film. Patients lie on the floor.
Yeah, right now the Israelis are in power, they're strong, they have America. But I guarantee you one day the mothers in Tel Aviv, the mothers in Haifa will wail the same way these Palestinian mothers are wailing and crying over their children. Because it cannot be. There has to be a God someplace, you know. You can't let this go on.
Near enough beds. Outside in the courtyard, rows of bodies. Palestinians describe this as a massacre.
Yeah.
The Israeli army disputes the death toll, claiming 20 Hamas fighters were targeted.
Yeah, all right,
something the group denies. Amongst survivors,
everything is Hamas in these motherfuckers.
In all directions. We were performing the dawn prayer when the missiles hit, this woman says.
They were performing prayer. They were not bothering anybody. These are people who are afraid, who have been moved from place to place, have families being killed. So the only thing they have is to pray. So they deliberately, these evil Zionist garbage piece of shit, these subhuman motherfuckers, deliberately chose the dawn prayer to get as many people in one room as much as possible to make their bombs worthwhile. The Zionist criminal cannot be a people of God. They have no mercy on children, so God should not have mercy on them. I ask these Christian brothers and sisters in America to take a second look and show your love of Jesus to these people, man. These are not your allies. The Zionists do not represent your values as Christian people. The Zionists do not represent your value as Christian people. These are the evildoers. These are the people, the lawless people, even in the Bible. Go ahead.
My great-grandson was martyred. So was my husband and my son. May God curse the Arab nations for abandoning us.
That's right, may curse them.
Before he curses the Jews.
Yep.
Even as they mourn the sound of an Israeli
Yeah, what she said.
above.
She said, Jews, you know who our enemy is.
A
We're just
constant
pretending
presence,
Zionists.
A reminder
The fuck
of
outta
the
here.
constant threat. Drowning out the words of a mother, saying a final goodbye to her beloved son.
And Sikandar joins us now live in Tel Aviv. Sikandar.
See? Tel Aviv.
There's been some strong international reaction to this Israeli strike. The EU's foreign policy chief saying that there was no justification for it. David Lammy, Britain's
The EU is the worst fucking Arab country in the world.
secretary, saying he was appalled by the loss of life. But there is often, it appears, something of a gap between critical language and policy. And of course, in any case, Israel's firmest, strongest, most important ally is America. The US just the other day announcing that it was going to be releasing $3.5 billion worth of long-term military funding.
We gotta give them those weapons. We gotta give it to them.
By Congress earlier
We
this
have
year.
to.
Israel,
55
for its part,
standing
accuses,
ovation for
as you
fucking
say,
Netanyahu.
Hamas of
For
hiding behind the civilian population. Hamas denies that, but even if we assume in some instances it is true, you're left wondering where Gaza's ordinary people, the ordinary families are left to go that is safe, given that practically the entire population has already been forced to flee their homes. And one final point, I think today's bloodshed will make efforts to rekindle negotiations on a ceasefire in Gaza.
what negotiation? What ceasefire?
Next week.
You know, they've been using this lie.
Sikandar, thanks very much indeed. Well, a short time ago, I spoke to the Israeli right-hand activist Gerson Bashkin, who has in the past negotiated hostage deals between Israel and Hamas. And I began by asking him whether Benjamin Netanyahu...
You have to understand, they've been negotiating this ceasefire for 10 months. Every time they get close, Netanyahu will assassinate a Palestinian leader or a Lebanese leader. Or right now, yesterday, Egypt, the United States, and Qatar said it's time for a ceasefire. And the Vice President Harris said, and what do? They bomb the school. They said, no, we have to survive. Israel has to kill these people. They have to. The Jewish state cannot become a Jewish state without being an apartheid state, without getting rid of the 2.3 million Palestinians. Facts are facts. They need that because they want to take the West Bank, and the problem they have is, I'm going to tell you right now, I need to educate you, okay? You need to be fucking educated, all right? You need to be educated, okay? You got to listen to me. The problem between the river and the sea, Israel has 7.3 million illegal Jews. They are illegal. And 7.3 native Palestinians.